everyone, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com, aka the SmackDown Kid. I like that. I actually like that. I really like. Without any further ado, let's look at all the ups and all the downs from a big week on SmackDown Live, a week which has helped shape the WrestleMania 33 card, but is it for better or for worse? Let's find out. So SmackDown opened in kind of in a Raw fashion. You know how Raw gets criticised because its authority figures steal so much of the spotlight from the talent, and SmackDown has kind of been praised for doing the opposite, for Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan allowing the talent to kind of shine through on their own with minimal interference from authority figures. Well, this time we had a kind of a Raw segment. Shane and Daniel Bryan came out to start the show and they just recapped everything that had happened. There was no new information except for one crucial thing which I really didn't like, which is that Shane thought that AJ Styles should have the match with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan was apparently on the side of Randy Orton. If you're going to build towards a feud between Shane and AJ Styles, why then have Daniel Bryan, they're both babyfaces, but the moreover and the more fan favourite authority figure? Why have him take the slightly illogical decision? I guess he's taken the face's side in Randy Orton, but is Randy Orton even a face? He burned down a man's house, whereas AJ Styles, a heel, is obviously immeasurably over with the crowd. I didn't really like this segment. It did nothing for me, and it just kind of clouded things even further without giving us any new information. So unfortunately, we kick things off with a down. Next up, oh man, it was the mixed tag team match between Carmella and James Ellsworth and the power couple of John Cena and Nikki Bella. And it was never going to be a good match, but man, apart from the stereo kind of you know five knuckle shuffles and the whole tandem attitude adjustment / Rack Attack 2.0, man, the match was quite clunky and a bit of a nothing match. I'm gonna have to give this one a down as well. But it was kind of saved because Miz and Maurice were on commentary and they jumped the face. Oh, obviously Cena and Nikki Bella won. Like, obviously, I didn't think I even needed to say that. But Miz and Maurice then jumped the faces after the match, and then Miz and Maurice cut. Well, Miz cut one hell of a promo. But for this match itself, unfortunately, that gets a down as well. And it's 2-0 to the Downs. Whoa, worrying times. Now onto that promo, and it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious that this feud is for Total Bellas, isn't it? This is going to be a showcase WrestleMania thing that'll get shown on Total Bellas, and it'll really drive viewership for that show because we know how important reality television is in the world of wrestling. More important than the wrestling itself, it seems. Miz and Maurice cut a promo. Miz's stuff was really, really good, to be fair. He said that John Cena hid their relationship away. Not Miz and Cena's relationship. Not that, Phil. Cut that, please. Miz said that John Cena had kept his and Nikki Bella's relationship a secret until it was convenient for his brand. And I don't know the ins and outs of Cena and Nikki's relationship, but is it a bit true? Can I say that? He kind of did. He kind of did. Then Maurice got on the mic and she did what everyone does around WrestleMania time. She called Nikki a bitch, because when that word is said in WWE, everyone loses their shit. She went, "Oh, break that, bitch," and everyone went, "Oh no!" This segment gets an up. It kind of made up for the kind of poor match we had before that. And while I'd rather just see Miz and Cena, have a big storied rematch of their WrestleMania 27 main event, this time with Miz eager to prove himself without any interference from The Rock, I guess this is okay. It'll certainly be a centerpiece of the WrestleMania mid card. And it could well be entertaining. We know how good Miz is these days, and we of course know how good Cena is. And I'm sure they can find some way to make it good. Let's hope so anyway. This segment gets it up. Next, Curt Hawkins came to the ring and called out Dean Ambrose for jumping him last week. So Dean Ambrose came out and jumped him again. And then he called out Baron Corbin, who again was on the Tron, saying, "Look, I'm not going to come to the ring just because you've called me out. I'm Baron Corbin. I do what I want." Baron Corbin's character is a bit of an emo teenager, actually, now I think about it. Dean Ambrose then went backstage a little while later and found Baron Corbin, but it was a security guard. Baron Corbin jumped him, pinned him under a forklift. It's kind of something we've seen a few times before, but not for a few years, I guess. So that's all right. But generally this gets it down because it was pretty much the same as last week. And I'm not too enthused about Ambrose versus Baron. in all fairness. However, I can't be the only one thinking this, can I? Maybe I'll get slaughtered for this in the comments. I can't be the only person kind of wanting Curt Hawkins to make it a triple threat and just win at WrestleMania. Is that me am I just being stupid, Phil? Am I just being stupid? Probably. This gets her down. And now we get to Alexa Bliss's Blissitation, as she called it. Basically, she held court in the ring alongside Mickie James and said, look, I'm not giving Becky Lynch a title shot at WrestleMania. Then Natalya came out and went, I thought you were giving me, yeah, I've got the title shot at WrestleMania. And then Alexa went, no, you don't. And then Mickie James went, look, Alexa, I thought we had an arrangement. I was going to help you out for a few months, and then I'd get the title shot at WrestleMania. And Alexa went, no, not that either. And I just thought, you can't just duck everyone, Alexa. I get that she's being like a cowardly heel champion, but you can't just duck everyone. What are you doing? Then Daniel Bryan came out and basically said, look, if you're not going to defend against anyone, you can defend against everyone. And yeah, we were worried about this. A lot of people were saying they were worried that the women's title matches at WrestleMania were going to devolve into kind of multi-women matches rather than a big showcase singles feud. And that is kind of what's happened. It almost feels like after killing it for so much of the build-up, the SmackDown women's division has just started to fall at the last hurdle. And it's really a shame. Like, it really is, because they were really doing well. But unfortunately, and I really don't like doing this, but I will have to give this segment a down as well. I'd much rather there was maybe a triple threat or preferably a singles feud for WrestleMania for the SmackDown women's division. Oh, it's a shame. It's a big old shame. It's a shame, McMahon. Phil?
Clever.
Thank you. Then Daniel Bryan did his best Teddy Long impersonation and made things a tag team match. He didn't say they were going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker, although I would pay to see Alexa Bliss versus The Undertaker. But no, it was a tag match with the kind of tween and Natalya paired with Becky Lynch against the heel team of Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. And then it was an okay match, but I really did take issue with the ending. Natalya predictably turned on Becky Lynch and hit her with a sick release German suplex. But should a release German suplex be enough to keep a woman of sort of Becky Lynch's strong babyface caliber down for a 3 count? Maybe, but certainly not when there's a kind of a slow exchange of tags and Alexa Bliss blind tags herself in and kind of quite slowly makes the cover. Becky looked a bit weak. And while I get what they were trying to do, they were showing both teams fracturing and falling apart. It didn't do it for me. It kind of just made Becky look weak. And you don't want your top babyface, you know, looking like she can get pinned after a release German. You know what I mean? It's another down. SmackDown was letting me down last night. It's another down. Next up, we had that big number one contenders match, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, and predictably, the match itself was great. Randy Orton is often chastised for being overly kind of safe and boring in the ring, but against AJ Styles, you always knew they're going to pull out some special stuff. They're both very, very capable wrestlers. And in particular, one spot has had the office talking all morning. It was AJ Styles going up for the 450, or for the phenomenal forearm, I think, because Orton was on his feet. He went up, springboarded off the top, Orton went to hit the RKO, fell on his back, and AJ hopped down again. It was really cleverly done. It showed that AJ had Orton scouted. It showed that Orton was coming up against a guy who he'd never really came up against before in this single situation. It was great. The match was great. Randy Orton won. Now, we knew this was going to happen, and I'll talk about that at length in a second. But the match itself, good stuff, easily the best match of the show, and it gets an up, yeah, gets an up. And we're in desperate need of ups this week on SmackDown Live. Thank God for that. So yeah, now I have to talk specifically, because the match was good enough to get an up by itself, but the booking gets a down from me. Yes, I understand they've been building towards Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, and I'm sort of fine with that, although I think the house burning thing didn't really work as they wanted it to, because it's just made Bray a face, and Randy a heel. He burned down a man's house, and Bray's reaction at ringside was like, it wasn't like an angry heel getting all pissed off. It was a babyface being devastated by what happened. Burned his house down with his, with Sister Abigail's body inside. It's pretty dark, guys. It's pretty dark. So yeah, I don't know what they're really going to do. After the show, they had kind of a shoot-style segment where AJ found Shane McMahon in Gorilla, or at the production desk or somewhere. You saw Michael Cole milling about and everyone was going, great show, guys, great show. And then AJ was like, where is Shane McMahon? Moves are easy. And then Shane came over and it was broken up by Road Dogg and Michael P.S. Hayes. Hayes kind of got AJ out of there And then Road Dogg went, "Oh, Jiminy Christmas," which was the best line I've heard, the best line of dialogue I've heard all year. Jiminy Christmas is what Road Dogg said. I've lost my train of thought. Jiminy Christmas has just knocked me for six. So yeah, it looks like they're building towards AJ versus Shane at WrestleMania, the match that no one really wants, because AJ's been amazing for a year, and he deserved to be in the title match. I don't know how they would have done it. The only thing I can think of would be that they do the Daniel Bryan thing from WrestleMania 30, where if Shane beats, if AJ beats Shane, then he gets inserted into that match and makes it a triple threat for the belt. But then you run the risk of making AJ a face, and they seem pretty set on keeping him the heel. Even though in my mind he's been kind of screwed out of the title shot. Oh, God. I feel so sad for SmackDown because they were doing so well for so long. They were easily the better brand, and it's just started to tail off right as we approach WrestleMania 33. So that's all for SmackDown Live this week. What a somber episode it's been. I've been quite down on SmackDown, I'm afraid. The downs have won, clearly. Let's hope they can turn things around. There is still a little bit of time. There's a few weeks until April the 2nd, WrestleMania 33. And if either brand deserves to really kill it at WrestleMania, it is SmackDown. They've outperformed Raw at almost every turn, and just now they're throwing it away. But then again, wrestling fans' opinion is always at a sort of an annual low as we approach WrestleMania and the card begins to take shape and everything's not exactly as we want it because we're already pedantic and smarky. I get that, and I get that WrestleMania often delivers more than we thought. It didn't quite last year, but maybe it will this year. Who knows? I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. Let's all pray that WrestleMania 33 is very, very good, especially from the Blue Brand's perspective. I'll see you soon.